Thank you everybody for coming. So excited that Luis is talking today, that Luis is going to share his story. Luis is a U.S. Air Force network engineer. He's a husband, he's a dad, he is a pranic healer. He's a pranic healer. And Luis has a really great story of how pranic healing helped him to stop smoking. As we know, smoking is really difficult to stop. And there are protocols in pranic healing for smoking cessation. And Luis is going to tell us about that and some of the rest of his story with pranic healing. So Luis, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. Nice to see you all.
See you.
Yeah. Yeah, so my story started in 2009. I was in college and I wanted to, things were not going right for me. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. So I kind of felt like I was bored by everything that was going on. I knew life had a lot more to offer. So I was just trying to figure everything out. So I decided to join the Air Force. And after I signed all my paperwork and everything, I was good to go. They told me, yeah, you will leave in about a month. My mother got the news that she was positive for cancer, breast cancer, right? So her sister, my maternal aunt, she suggested us to go to this Pranic Healer that lived close by to us, and she's been seeing him for a long time. And we went there, right? Like not knowing what we were gonna go for. Like she didn't explain much. She was like, yeah, we're gonna meditate or whatever. So we got there and we did meditation on Twin Hearts, which is a meditation by Grandmaster Choa Sui, which in essence, what it does, it opens up the heart that we use to connect with our loved ones, but also the heart that we use to connect to the world and to other people that we don't know, and a higher love, right? So I didn't know this, right? So I just go there and I sit down and we're in a room, we do the meditation, and while we're going through the meditation, I felt this extreme bliss and happiness, right? Never felt that before. I was like, hold on, like this is new. A lot of things made sense listening to the teacher talk afterwards. So he decided to treat my mother for cancer, right? And she started going, and after a few sessions, her tumors shrunk significantly, right? So for me, cancer was like, that's it. At that time, I was like, okay, she got cancer, that's it. You know, I don't know how long she has. I was thinking badly already. Within my ignorance, I seen that was really it helped me a lot to deal with the situation. Anyway, I decided that I needed to leave, so I decided to join the Air Force, and that's where like all my life started. So after that meditation, my aunt, she gave me the Pranic Healing book of basic miracles to Pranic Healing. And you can buy it, you can find it in Amazon and everything. The book pretty much breaks down the healing, like how pranic healing works and how you can start doing it step by step, right? So I got the book, and 2 days I read through the whole thing, and I started practicing on myself and trying to feel energy, which is something that we do as pranic healers. We scan the energy centers and the aura of people to be able to find like what's the energetic state of that person, so we can apply pranic healing treatment soon. And and I started kind of feeling something, right? So I was like, I got hooked, and then that happened. Then I had to leave Puerto Rico and I joined the Air Force. I went to basic training. I did, they gave me, my first duty station was in Germany. So I lived in Germany for 2 years. But pranic healing stayed in the background in some way, right? I was young, you know, I'm a young Puerto Rican in Germany. I was having the best time of my life, right? And but when situations arose, I I was able to either calm myself using pranic healing or in some way help a friend that were having any issues with some friend like break heart, you know, heartbroken. I was able to help a friend of mine that was going through like a breakup, and she felt a lot better after doing a healing session on her. I also helped pretty much myself. I practice a lot with myself and my mom, which even though she was being treated for cancer, her cancer tumor is strong, but she decided that she wanted to go with a mastectomy, so she got rid of everything, but so her healing process, I was helping her, you know, to heal from that surgery. The military was wild. It's a new world for me, right? So uh, and then traveling the world, it was an amazing thing to do as a young kid. So it's like, but pranic healing kind of supported me along the way. I got orders to go to Iraq in 2011. So I went to Iraq in 2011, and we were attacked pretty much every day, constantly. And I think, and I truly believe this, if I wasn't aware of the techniques that I learned through pranic healing, I wouldn't have, you know, stayed sane, you know, and focus on what I needed to do. Afterwards, I came back from Iraq. I spent some time in Germany, and then I got orders to come back to the States in Louisiana. So at this point, I'm practicing pranic healing, but I haven't even taken a class, right? So this is all from that book. And when I took the class, I got to Louisiana, and they were offering a class in Dallas, Texas, which was like 2 hours away. And I went and I took the class. That was I was going through a really bad period at that time. When I came back from Germany, I was not feeling well. Kind of this whole time before I left Puerto Rico, I've been smoking a lot and drinking and partying like mostly every week, right? So life got kind of like to a point where I didn't know where I wanted to go. Everything was happening, but I was kind of like floating there, just experiencing things and just everything like how do you say that, like stale kind of, you know. And I didn't feel motivated at all, and I think I was going through a like really bad depression, right? I wasn't treated for it, but I wasn't going out of my room. Like I would get out of work and just put myself in a cave, you know, and not really interact with people much. And it felt pretty dark to me. So when this pranic healing class came up, I was like, okay, it's 2 hours away, I have to go. I went and took the first basic class, and I learned all the details about it. I started doing healing on myself. And literally that thing changed the course of my where I was going with my depression and my loneliness that I was experiencing. That took it and moved me to a whole different place. I met new people where we're in the same you know, in the same state of like trying to move away from like suffering and trying to better yourself and stuff like that. So I was like, this is amazing. So once I started experiencing that, things changed. Like literally, the Air Force was doing a cutback in 2014, force reduction they called it. In 2014, because there were some cutbacks in money or whatever. So sadly, I was asked to get out of the force. I loved it. I've been doing great. And then out of nowhere, I was forced to leave it, right? So instead of just leaving, and I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I'm just gonna join the Air National Guard and figure life out because I don't know what else to do. So I was kind of pushed away from that, and I went to Tampa. So when I got to Tampa, I was already practicing pranic healing fully. I took 2 more classes, like pranic psychotherapy and crystal healing, which is pranic psychotherapy. What it does is a class that focuses on any mental imbalances, any mental issues that the person might have. And this includes addiction, includes like chronic stress, anxiety, if you're going through grief. And there are treatments that pranic healing can help with so that you can lower the volume of those emotions, those heavy negative emotions, and you can start finding better thoughts, better ways of thinking, better ways of feeling. And when you and I know I had this urge the whole time, and every pranic healer that I know, you have this urge to help, right? It's something that is within, like you want to help people. So I started feeling like that. I started feeling like I wanted to do something to help other people. So I went ahead and I went to Tampa. I found a pranic healing center in Boca Raton where Rosa Velasco, she's the manager there, and I took my family. I was like, okay, you guys have to experience this. I took them there, and we started going like every so often to do meditation and do healing nights, right? Throughout this whole time, I'm a heavy smoker. So I've been smoking and a pack and a half a day, and I couldn't stop. And I knew I felt the heaviness, especially in the military when you do PT. You run, and I was young, and I could do it. Right after running a mile and a half, I'm lighting a cigarette up and just smoking it like nothing. But it got to a point when I started doing meditation and when I started having that urge to be well and help people, that I felt my lungs weren't optimal, right? And that translated into other things. Mentally, I felt foggy, right? So even though with the nicotine, I felt the rush, the nicotine, the rush that you feel when you smoke, the supposed clarity that you get when you are smoking, you relax and everything. But what really, truly got me to start move away from that was what I was feeling in my lungs. My father, he died at 72, not a year ago, and he was a heavy smoker his whole life, right? So I've always seen my dad smoke. I said to myself I didn't want to smoke at all, but I caught it when I was like 12, and then I started doing it nonstop until I was 26. That's when I really was like, okay, I need to stop. So how did pranic healing help me achieve that? I was out of the active duty military. I'm now in the Air National Guard in Tampa, MacDill Air Force Base. And we got orders to go to Afghanistan, right? And I was like, okay, we'll go, whatever. But before I left, I established communication again with my teacher in Puerto Rico, the Pranic Healer that was helping my mother. And he was telling me, hey, Luis, I have a program, like a healing program, where I'm gonna just send you these meditations, which is like meditation on twin hearts and also the Our Father meditation with Kabbalistic. Have you seen it, Allison? Yeah. And he was kind of like having me do these meditations every day. but he also asked me, what is something that you really want to get rid of? Like, it's bothering you, you want to just drop it. And the first thing that came to mind, I was like, I have a lot of issues, but if I have something that I want to get rid of, smoking would be one that I would be like, okay, you know. And we started doing the treatment. So it was like 7 weeks, and I will be doing meditations every day, and then once a week on Wednesdays we will meet. And it wasn't Zoom. It wasn't Zoom at that time. We just agreed upon a time that I think it was like 9 p.m. after I got out of work, that he would connect with me. I was in Afghanistan and he's in Puerto Rico, and he was like, at 9 p.m. every day, you just lay down, put the meditation on, and I'm gonna do healing on you for smoking, to stop smoking. And then after the first healing session for smoking, I felt a release of like a tension that I had in my diaphragm that I didn't know existed. Because in life we get numb after we get used to doing something, and habits are real. Like, life gets so automatic that we believe that reality is just what we are used to, but reality is so much more, right? And we can't from a place of habitual patterns, we cannot, and if we don't find time to step back and look at the bigger picture, reality is the mess that we're involved with. It's just the cycles that we are going through every day. But having the chance to have someone help me get out of that and actually feel it in my physical body, at session 1, I was like, wow, you know, I could breathe better. I was having stomach issues. Every time I eat, like, I'll feel upset. And what he told me, like, he called me afterwards after he did the healing, and he was like, Luis, you had so many we call it in pranic psychotherapy elementals, like fire elementals in your solar plexus, in your throat, in your Ajna chakra, which is the will center. And I was like, I didn't understand. I was like, okay, so what does that? I feel it, you know, I feel it, but what does that really mean? That opened up a whole new world, a new motivation for me to start learning more. And actually, as I was moving forward, like, every time I meditated, I felt a crazy urge to smoke. Like, it kind of like got worse at the first few weeks. Like, every time he would do healing on me and I finished meditating, I wanted to go outside and light up a cigarette and smoke it. Actually, I did it a few times. I went out and I smoked. But I think the fourth session, the fourth week after a month of doing meditation, I was like, something happened, something clicked within my consciousness, that I started not wanting to even smell cigarette smoke. Like, it felt bad to me. And I was able to, like, okay, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold off. I'm just gonna smoke maybe after I eat, and that's it. So I can tell you, after 6 weeks, I didn't want to know anything about smoking, right? And from where I was looking at it, I couldn't explain it, right? But now that I understand more of how our minds and how the influences, energetic influences that we have in our system affect our decisions and how we see things, now I see how it is possible, right? So what really happens when you're a smoker or any type of addiction, there are a few levels for it, right? The first one, just repeating an action on its own creates a mental pattern that is physical, right? Our neurons actually build specifically for, so that we don't have to spend too much energy to repeat that task. That's without the chemical influence of anything, right? Just repeating something many times create that pattern in your brain, and it's easier to fall to repeat it. But when you have something that actually chemically activates the different receptors within you, it is even hard. It's even, I mean, it's even easier to build that because the body starts craving that chemical. So what Pranic Healing does that is amazing to me, and I have not heard of it anywhere else, is that thoughts, and what we're taught is by Master Choco Sui, is that thoughts and emotions are energies that, and they can, to a certain extent, they have a energy frequency, right? So a thought of hate has a specific energetic frequency compared to a thought of kindness, right, and love. And those thought forms get stored within our energy bodies, right? And also, like, certain areas in our system, the physical body actually stores that energy within us, and the specific organs, right? So the liver is usually affected by anger, right? Also the kidneys. So when you're explosive and have a lot of anger, your kidneys are really active, your adrenal glands. And your lungs, when a person is experiencing a lot of fear, your lungs weaken because the energy structure, the energetic structure of those organs are prone for that frequency to land and attach to, right? So the more we experience those things, the more the buildup of that energy is created. I didn't know that. So when we smoke, our lungs are affected. So the lungs are weakened. The other systems in the other organs are also depleted, because without the ability to absorb oxygen, the whole system weakens. And it brought me back to an experience that I was, every time I smoked, and when I was doing meditation, I would get to a point and I felt that there was like kind of like a wall, and no matter what I did, no matter how much I tried, like, I wouldn't go past it. Mind, the noise. I know some people, when they start meditating, you sit down and you cannot go through that wall because the mind is just super loud. With practice, you get to a point that the mind calms down and you're able to just be in silence. But when I was smoking, I was within a bubble that I just couldn't do it. I started experiencing really high levels of calmness and peace when I completely dropped it. And that actually made me feel that a lot more healthy, a lot more stronger, and motivate me to help other people, right? So yeah, it is really amazing what Pranic Healing can do, and when you understand how the energetic biology that we all humans have, because this Pranic Healing is something that, it's not that some healers can do it, like people are born and only them can do it. It's not like that. Anybody can do it, no matter if you're a smoker or alcohol. Like, anybody can help themselves just using your hands to be able to remove those blockages. And what Master Choa Koksui did was, like, he put in a simple cookbook way specific instructions so that you could, your two hands, just clean your solar plexus 50 times. Just imagine that you have white light and you go like this, and all of a sudden you start feeling the relief of just what just passing your hands in front of your body does. It's crazy to me. Yeah, it is an amazing thing. I feel super blessed for having this Pranic Healing family that is growing and growing and growing so much. And I really urge anyone that is that is willing to experience it, right? Because that is wanting to change something as little as it could be. It could be like you want to experience more peace in your life, or you want to experience more loving relationships in your life. If you want to experience having a sense of control over what happens in your life, I really suggest taking a Pranic Healing class, and this is just the beginning of a huge journey. So mine started with a book in 2009. We are in 2021. I thought that was a way, right? But somehow it just caught me again, and the potential that we have as people, like anybody, is that no matter where you at, you can help your family members, you can help friends with just moving your hands. You know, like somebody's having a really sinus problem, and they're like, you can just help them heal from that, just moving your hands and knowing where to put your attention to. And I think those are the huge blessings. After that, when I came back, I got out of the military. I moved. My mother, she was healed completely for 10 years, and the cancer came back, right? So now she moved with me now, and with my family. So I do, like, last year, I think I went through, I don't know how many sessions, but we've been working on her like constantly, and I'm doing healing on her for cancer. And the same thing that I experienced with the guy, I'm doing it now. I see the tumor shrinking, right? I see it, and I'm helping her. So it's truly a blessing to be able to know these teachings and applying within our family members, because I mean, who knows, like we could be that little thing that can move the needle for somebody in our families to actually make a life-changing decision, right? And yeah, I'm truly blessed.
That's an awesome story. Now you're healing your mom. That's amazing.
Yes. And I got it into Pranic Healing too. So she took basic Pranic Healing already. So yeah.
Awesome.
I
So
am thrilled to hear this. I hope you will share some of this with your military, veteran, and active duty friends and colleagues, because this can make a huge difference. They can do their jobs better. They can be more focused and be able to switch from military to being home with their friends and family, which is sometimes a tough transition.
Yeah. So now that you mentioned that, a good friend of mine, he's in Puerto Rico right now. He was with me in Germany for a while, and when he came back, he's suffering from really bad PTSD, and he's being treated by VA in Puerto Rico, but it was PTSD, and then it turned into really bad back pain, and he started experiencing like back pain that he had to walk with a cane, you know. And I suggested to him, like, I was like, hey man, I do this, you know, because at the beginning I was shy to be able to open up and actually share with my colleagues and friends what I do, because most of the time, like, you're like, this guy meditating, you know, it's not fully accepted by everyone, you know that. So I've been kind of pushing the message through, but trying to be as accepting as I can be. And I did healing on him, and three sessions, his back pain was almost completely gone. He was feeling a lot clearer. He was experiencing a lot of worry, and you know, when you experience a bomb going off next to you, that leaves a really deep impression in your psyche, right? So he was able to lower the volume of those visions. Like, he would see them, but it wasn't affecting him emotionally as bad, right? And also now I work for the Department of State now, so have a bunch of military retirees and friends, so I'm slowly trying to get to them, and this is amazing. Like, Allison, thank you a lot for opening up the floor for me to do this, because I am more than willing to work with veterans that actually, I mean, I went through it. You know, I went to Iraq, I went to Afghanistan, I went to Jordan and Qatar, and I went through attacks, many attacks, and I was able to deal with it myself, right, with my own practice. So I think I have some meat to work with to be able to, you know, transfer that message to others.
That's your mission, soldier.
That's it.